Hello.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone. I'm watching all the hellos. Hi, Karen. Hi, Jeanette. Feel like I haven't seen you in ages. Hi, Gail.
We had a gathering this afternoon. So a whole lot of the people that are on here, Karen, Gail, Wendy, we saw Jeanette. We saw them all this afternoon. So welcome back, people.
Yeah, welcome back, and great to spend some extra time with you and welcoming everyone else in tonight. It's an interesting thing because when Annie and I were talking about the topics and suddenly thinking, have we actually shared with everyone what these healing frequencies are and what they do? You want to talk about that, KERRIE? Sure, we can talk about that. It's funny because, you know, we have a lot of awesome guest speakers that we bring on quite often. I was sort of like, oh, yeah, we'll do our topic tonight. Lots of fun. Lots of fun. So thank you, everyone, for joining. Usually we would do a meditation to start out. But tonight, because of what I'm taking you through with each of these frequencies, we'll be doing little mini attunements to each of the frequencies as we go along tonight. So I thought we probably don't need to do a meditation up front, but just to get comfortable, take a few really deep breaths so that you're just relaxing, but at the same time you're connecting into that life force energy and allowing that energy in itself to connect us all across the airwaves of the internet tonight.
I've got my feet up. I'm just any more laid back and I would fall over.
I was expecting you to play 20 questions with me, Annie, on all of this.
Okay, I'm on it, Kerrie. I'm on it.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, this has to be the most organized I've ever been for a live stream. Normally we just, we're very much, oh, this is the topic. But we very much just trust that our guides are going to step in and give us the information that we need to share on it with everybody. We don't schedule a lot beforehand, because that's really what happens. And it's the message that's for the people that are in the live that night. We definitely feel that works. But tonight, I actually created little tiny videos of each of the frequencies, and I wanted to make sure the audio worked, seeing we've had audio issues in the past. So I'm more organized than I've ever been, but don't expect this to become a habit. That's all I'm saying.
We are so naughty.
Yeah, you really are. All right, so shall I dive in? Sort of not looking at chat because I've got a million little tiny vids sitting on, not a million. Someone corrected me. There's 9 solfeggio frequencies, everybody.
Yeah, that was Karen that said there's only 9. Do you know, though, before you go any further, one of the things that you did say today was that the didgeridoo is the only instrument that can play all 9.
Correct.
Solfeggio frequencies. Yep. And I think maybe that's why that everybody can relate to it, because no matter where you sit, there's something in that will resonate for you.
Yeah.
And I've never met anybody that didn't like the didgeridoo.
Yeah, there's something about it.
Yeah, just such a beautiful primal sound. Oops. Yeah.
So and Nate made it.
Yeah, hi, Nate.
Nate made it. Hello, how are you? Nice to have you here. Oops, I'm glad hopefully he didn't hear me admit what I just admit. Just pretend, everyone, I'm doing this right on the spot. Don't feel
Hey, Nate. I was raving about my Umana session today at the gathering, and Robin, who's in the Gathering Girls group, is really interested in attending. So I'll send her through some information about that. And I think Jeanette, you were going to talk to her as well. So yeah, so we've still got spaces in that if anybody else is interested.
Yeah, so August, if you go to Pellowah.space to Nathan's page, you'll see a tab at the top that says workshops. If you click on that tab, you'll see Kachina Man workshops. Click on there and you'll see the dates. So you're actually booking through Nate's site there, the Imana or the 5 steps, which is August. It's only a couple of weeks.
I'll send the information through to Robin.
Yep.
And so she'll probably reach out to you.
Okay. Well, seeming there's one I've prepared earlier.
You go, girl.
Yeah. I saw Kachina this week, and I'm so excited. We're excited to have her there. And this, I believe, Nate, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is one of the last workshops that she's going to be doing to train people in Umana. Is that correct? So I feel super privileged to be on one of her second last course. Yeah. And Karen wants some details too, please. Yep.
I'll send her through them too.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Don't go back. Just trust me, All right. There you go. And Kachana is teaching it. She'll only teach for a limited time. Then you'll have to learn with Gail or Nate. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. One of the last workshops that she's doing. So how privileged to have it out there at Red Bank Plains, and Nate's one in Sydney. Super privileged. Okay, guys, I'm going to add this to stage. So what I was going to take you on today is a journey of unlocking the secrets of the powers of the sound frequencies. Now, listening to these frequencies can also be a really powerful tool. Now, there are other things you can do, like crystal bowls. There's sound baths that do this. Obviously, I've got the Vibroacoustic therapy bed. So that's a whole other sound bed healing track service. But you can use this in your day-to-day life using listening tracks, and there's lots of things available on YouTube that you can actually look up. But the idea is giving you what these hertz are becomes important, because if you know how the hertz interrelate to the different parts of our body systems, so whether that's physical, mental, emotional or spiritual, can really help you in going, oh, that's the track that I need at this point in time, you know, so that's what you're looking for. So that's what I thought I'd take you through, but give you a little bit of a background of sort of how long this journey has been happening for me. And I have to actually go back to almost being a child as to where this started, because when I was very young, there was quite an age difference between me and everyone else. So I'm the youngest of 9, and there's 8 years between me and my next sibling. So I did actually spend, because they're at school or work or, you know, wherever they are, and there was mum and me at home. Mum was busy looking after the household and doing washing and ironing and everything else for 9 children. But I'd quite often go out on the balcony, and out on the balcony I could see the sunset. So I'm guessing the sunset connection for me started at a really young age. I also spent a lot of time just talking to the birds, talking to the lizards that were out sunning themselves on the balcony. And I would sing to everything. I would sing to the trees and sing to the birds and sing to the lizards, and I would sing to the universe and I would sing to God. So this whole frequency and connection through frequency was something I was doing as a child without really understanding it was a frequency connection at the time. And then back in 1998, now, I don't expect you to read this, but I just wanted to show you. This is a really old notebook of mine. So when I say to you, keep notebooks, and you got the thing is trying to find where you wrote things is really interesting. This is something that I wrote back in 1998, and it came through from my guide, Peter, and it was called The True Story of Creation. So, and this is good because my eyesight's terrible and I'm looking at this on a very, very tiny screen, but I'll try and read it to you. So, the true story of creation. There was energy, there was frequency, there was God, the universal center of all energies and frequencies, truth, love, and light. The energy God resonates, having frequency, creates tones and sounds and lights in the form of vibrations. These tones and sounds, having been filled with love and intentional consciousness, sang out. As the sound and the light frequency was sent out, it became an extension of God and yet separate. Once the vibrational forms coagulate, they emanate their own unique frequency in both tone and color. And as it becomes denser, it is joined to create its own form, an extension of parts of God's energy and yet now separate. All matter in your realms and across the universe is made of the density forms of vibrational energy connecting in creation of new forms. That are visible, energy connecting in creation of new forms that are visible within your spectral range. Consciousness created in spirit realms is of a higher vibrational energy than that of the earth plane and the lower realms. Where, now I can't even read that. What a bad screen that was, Kerrie. Bad choice of screen. Where you can't see in your spectrum but can be limited to a denser form of light and vibrational frequencies. This is an extremely simplified explanation of the complex task that was creation, yet above this all is that God's essence exists in everything, and you are formed at your essence as an extension of God's vibration. So when you think about, everyone talking about the symphony of the universe, we talk about that, the symphony of the universe, which is light and sound. And all of that was part of creation. So as I do, and as I've been told I'm not meant to do anymore, right? I'm not meant to double check everything anymore, is quite often when I received communications, I would go and look for other validations of that communication. And although I understand that the Bible's been translated into so many different languages that some of the words have been changed, the context has been changed, and then, of course, some of the meaning behind those words have been changed. But right in the beginning of the Bible, John 1:1 says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." And in thinking about that word, and when we speak, is sound. It's sound and vibration. So if we want to understand what is God, or its universal energy, its universal frequency, it is the sound, and all sounds have a light frequency that's attached to them. So the word meaning, the sound, frequency, vibration, that's energy emanates its own light, is transmitted out from the God source with conscious thought and intention, which equals creation. So you've all heard about, I guess, Nikola Tesla and others have said, if you want to know the secrets to the universe, think about vibration and energy. That's really what it's all about. So what I want to do is just share this first video with you. It doesn't go for too long, but here's some incredible things that links to this creation idea that forms through the different frequencies and vibrations that then form matter and then project an image of that denser form and being.
Nobody is ready for this one. This probably looks familiar. It probably looks like these cymatic patterns that I talk about all the fucking time. And all these things is a petri dish on top of a speaker and a light on top of it, making these cool mandala-like patterns. Now this man made one of them in a 3D design software and took cross sections of it and put different colors to those cross sections. So using a 3D cymatic pattern, this man was able to create a perfect image using sound and light. I want you to sit and really think about this, because this is the code to reality. This is the code to the matrix, or whatever you want to call it. This is how energy interacts with itself to create everything that you see. This is why cymatics and sound is so important. Vibration in general. It's all waves.
Okay, so every thought, every emotion, every part of our body is a sound and a frequency. And if you think about it, emotion is energy in motion. So everything has a frequency to it. Now, I'm going to be sending out just a little worksheet that gives you a lot of this information, so don't worry about that too much. But if you look, and if you can see this okay, the lower level energy sitting around the 20 hertz, the 30 hertz, 50 hertz, we're looking at the shame, the guilt, the anger, the fear. They definitely sit in those lower energy ranges. And when you start moving up into love and joy and peace and enlightenment, you're moving up 400s, 500s, 600s, 700s, 800s, 900s. So the frequencies are going up as you're doing that. And our emotions hold those frequencies. Every single organ within the body also has its own frequency. So liver, the bladder, pancreas, stomach, the little bones in your body all vibrate at their own individual frequency. And in some of these, you'll see different parts, particularly within the skeletal system, the hertz that they're actually vibrating at. Now, that's their healthy optimum frequency that they're at in these. Food also has its own vibration, which I thought was really interesting as well. So all the food, and we see colours as the colour that it is because of the frequency that it's vibrating at. And we know that each of the chakra colours are those colours because they're vibrating in a different frequency. And when they are joined together, that is the light. That is the white light. So what I've done is I've just given you a list here of each of the chakras and the frequency related to those chakras. So if you understand which chakra you might be working with, is it solar plexus? Is it heart chakra? You know, is it needing to feel safe and secure? That would be the vibration that you should be working with. So even this is a really easy guide as to what vibrations and what hertz to look for in the sound music, and then incorporate that into your meditation practice. Okay, that must say video 2 and didn't come up. So I'll show this next little video. Annie, I think you're going to like this one.
Anyway, we set up this really novel experiment to make visible the resonances in that granite sarcophagus. I placed a small speaker there, and about 20 minutes into the experiment, suddenly on the surface of the membrane came what appeared to be an ancient Egyptian hieroglyph. Now this was an astonishing moment in my life. This hieroglyph was the Jed pillar. Symbolically, it's the backbone of the god Osiris. And this cymatic Jed pillar wasn't static. It was snaking, really dynamically on the surface of the membrane. And every time we changed the frequency, a new hieroglyph would appear in the sand. At the time when this was all happening, I couldn't really even think about how is this possible. But what happened, which proved to be a great gift actually, was that 3 weeks before going out to Egypt for this research mission, I quite badly injured my lower back and I was in excruciating pain. I had been to a physiotherapist a couple of times, but nothing had really touched this pain. Anyway, to cut a long story short, about 20 minutes into this experiment, I suddenly realized that there was no pain in my lower back. The pain had just completely vanished. So getting back to the UK, I immediately begun research into cymatics, the study of visible sound, but also I've been studying the biological mechanisms that underpin sound therapy and music medicine. How does sound trigger the body's healing response naturally and provide many benefits to health? There are so many benefits that come from applying specific sound frequencies to the body. This idea that Pythagoras had stated that music could be used in place of medicine. And after that amazing experience that I had in the Great Pyramid, how was it that my back was, apparently miraculously healed within only 20 minutes of making sound? So I decided to study the effects of sound frequencies and music on human blood. And it consisted of very simple experiments. We would take a test tube of human blood in the lab incubator, which has a small speaker in it. Then 20 minutes of exposure of the blood in the music incubator, and it was hard to believe the results that we were seeing. Every type of music, every genre of music that we played to the blood produced a massive increase in the viability of the red blood cells. It was really astonishing. The blood was being super oxygenated. And then when we know that almost every healing mechanism in the body is supported by oxygen, so it becomes obvious that it's a very, very important discovery that we've made. And obviously it's one of the many mechanisms that we now know is at work in terms of health benefits when we are immersed in a sound environment. Particularly the low frequencies can be readily absorbed by our bodies and therefore have positive effects, not only on our blood, but also on many other aspects of our physiology.
So, and I didn't preface that very well, did I? To set that one up. But his backstory is that his father was an archaeologist, and he actually traveled to Egypt with his father, and they had an opportunity to be in the Great Pyramid when no one else was there, and he decided to do that sound experiment. Now, what I thought was interesting with that is Annie and I have had a very similar experience in that when we were programming the crystals for the angel feathers signature oil, and also for our pyramids at the 963 hertz, they actually levitated and moved themselves into the shape of a pyramid. So in hearing his particular one, and he's saying, look, we're in this environment, and as it resonated off the walls, it kept giving me different hieroglyphs. It's pretty amazing, really, and thinking that, are they more healing chambers than anything else? Were they used for the sound and vibration as healing chambers? So really what it's coming back to is this frequency, the frequency that you send through when you've got this stable frequency for long enough. Anything that should be vibrating at that frequency entrains to that resonance and starts vibrating where it should be. So that's really what it's all now coming down to. So there's definitely science involved in all of this. Were you going to say something, Annie?
Yeah, I'm taking the science out of it back to absolute basics. In the 70s, for those of us who are old enough to remember them and weren't stoned, it was all cool in a caftan, love and peace, man. And the music of the 70s was all really gentle, and we had all these beautiful harmonies, and it was just glorious. And then when we hit the punk rock, it was angry young people, 80s, 90s. And now that we've hit the noughties, a lot of the music is really jarry. But there's a lot of people everybody, I reckon, has a soundtrack to their life. And that music plays any music, you know, like James Taylor just drops my shoulders. He's been with me since I was 14. And if I hear him, instantly my shoulders drop. And there's pieces of music. You and I did it down in Sydney. We hit the playlist. We were playing it. Here's my playlist. And here's my playlist. And because, you know, you came up with your brothers and sisters who were my era. They were singing. And as we sang, we got stupider and stupider and stupider. And our energy got higher and higher and higher. The converse side of that is that we were, oh God, we were at a market last weekend. And the first day, oh God, the first day there was this band. And oh dear Lord, they were dreadful. They were absolutely dreadful. It was the German club, and it was all papa music. And it was and it was loud, and it was jarring. We were there for 3 days. The second day they had this guy on that couldn't sing. I don't know who told him he could sing, but God give me strength. He couldn't sing. We both went home with blinding headaches because it jars your energy and it hits you on an energetic level. The Thursday we were there was this guy who sang proper songs, nice songs, gently and quietly. And at the end of it, I went up to him and I said, thank you. Just thank you. You played all my favorite songs and you know you can sing, and it was just awesome. Because the 2 days before, like, we were broken, you know, and everybody, I think, has a song that comes on the radio and it just makes you go, whoa. And like, if it was in the 70s or the 60s, I can remember the words of songs from way back then, but I can't remember why I walked into the kitchen. I was watching a video the other day, and it was this old man who used to be a singer, like an opera singer, and there was a young woman singing with him. And this old man, he'd have been 90, dementia, and he remembered the words of all the songs. And it was beautiful. But he couldn't remember his family, he couldn't remember his friends. You know, it's just, but so whatever the frequency of the music that was being played at that time. So it doesn't need to be, like, there's a lot of classical music that just gives you goosebumps. And when you hear somebody singing that resonates with you, you get goosebumps. It's just like, whoa.
You know? Exactly. And we've got, you know, Nate saying he resonates with Kylie. Tracy was just talking about Ella Fitzgerald. That's the same sort of thing, you know, you actually connect in with that vibration, you know, so you're on the same sort of wavelength. Interestingly, if you go back in time, the recording of the music was always based on the key, and orchestras would tune themselves to this, was at 432 hertz. Now, 432 hertz is an awesome healing frequency, right? So it was that feel good. Somewhere along the line, they decided to change it and tune everything to 440 hertz, which is not a healing frequency. In fact, it can agitate people. So it's interesting as to why they decided to make that shift. It seems really, really strange. But anyway, just something to be aware of. You can actually search for some of your favorite music that has been re-engineered to the 432 hertz, taking it out of that 440. So all it's talking about is how many times is it vibrating within a second. That's what you're talking about with the hertz. Yeah. So that 440 actually grates on people and can agitate people. So it's interesting that that changing it to that 440 hertz was actually getting people aggravated and wanting to do things. And it really happened through a protest movement as well. So it's interesting how it all correlated. Yeah. So, all right. So I'm going to just jump to another little video. I'm trying to give you some background in this. Now, with this I just want to touch on, and we saw it in one of the videos, that if you look at churches and you look at those beautiful ornate, and they've got a lot of stained glass in them now, you know, designs that they have in those churches, they actually match the different solfeggio frequencies. So if you think back, some of things that we just knew, somewhere along the line got lost, you know, in all of that. So I'm just going to share this next one with you.
Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, you need to think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Our brain pulsates with electromagnetic energy affected by our emotions, our health, and our general state of well-being. If an energetic force is struck at the same resonant frequency as another object in a vicinity, the vibrations will cause the second object to begin vibrating. In terms of how you experience the world, the energy and vibration you give off is met and reflected back. We can feel this on an emotional level when we say that somebody is on our wavelength, or we feel in tune with a personal situation. Why is this important? Well, if your internal vibration is one of anxiety, depression, anger, the life experience that you have may very well provide you with people and situations that reflect this back at you, thereby reinforcing the feeling and so creating a circuitous negative experience of life. It's a bit like tuning into different radio waves. Depending on what frequency you emit, will decide on what station you pick up. What is clear from modern research, sound can at the very least affect matter. In the 18th century, Ernest Chladni put sand onto a glass plate and vibrated it with a violin. The sand was pulled into creative and beautiful symmetric patterns. This work has been continued with the invention of the cymoscope by John Reed, who uses water as a surface membrane in which to imprint sound and create a digital representation of sound and vibration. Notice the symmetrical shapes and the similarities to those found in sacred geometry and within the harmonious shapes found in nature. According to Gardner Snook of Manchester University, the difference between a healthy cell and a cancerous cell is like two very large orchestras all playing their instruments at the same time. But in the cancerous orchestra, the tuba is horribly out of tune. In the following two clips, you can hear the difference between the healthy pulsations of a yeast cell and the high-pitched frequency of one that is stressed. Notice the distortions as represented on the cymoscope of the one that is stressed. Through the latest experiments using microcymatics, it has been suggested that through the principle of entrainment, whereby a more powerful frequency causes a weaker frequency to synchronize with it, we can excite the membrane of a cell into coherent geometrical patterns. Therefore, if we direct harmonious sound towards our bodies, we are able to bring our cells into their own optimum frequency. Not only do we vibrate on a cellular level, our consciousness, our thoughts and emotions all have their own energetic imprint.
So I just thought that was interesting to share with everyone, because we know music can change your mood and it can change how you're feeling. And that's exactly what you were talking about before, Annie, how you resonate and connect with certain songs, certain music, certain lyrics. And it brings back memories of those times. It can actually put you right back in a space. So we understand the power of music on a mental level and an emotional level. But this really explains how music is so much more than that. So if we go back to, the story of creation, where I'm being told, well, it's the word, and the word is sound, and that sound and vibration went out. And as it formed in its own frequencies, it created matter. And this is sort of the big bang of, you want to call it that. So, it's just a whole new way of looking at it. But if you can understand that, then you can also use it to go, okay, this is what's not right. I'm emotionally upset about things at the moment. I need to balance that emotional energy in my body, because one of the biggest things for being unwell is stress within the body, and it can be caused in a number of ways, emotionally, physically. Obviously we can pick up germs and things, but our resistance of that. So yesterday, I've actually not been well all week. Yesterday I went and jumped on the sound bed, my own sound bed, better use it for myself, and did an immunity boost. And I can't believe how much better I'm feeling today. I'm still not 100%, but just noticing that difference in putting through the frequencies that were going to help my immune system, just to be able to put them back into that frequency where they can fight off what's in my system. Okay, so I think I've done that one. All right, so we're just going to jump into this idea of lost technologies coming back again through the frequency. So I'm just going to share this one with you.
Proof that churches and cathedrals were originally built as healing centers through somatic and resonant frequencies and not places of worship. Now, first of all, we don't know most of the original owners and architects of these incredible structures. So why would they build such massive, intricate structures for simply just a place of worship? And when we analyze the windows of these cathedrals, we can see that it matches certain cymatics and resonant frequencies. Now, even modern science knows that 111 hertz frequency kills cancer cells. And our ancient ancestors used sound and frequencies for healing for a long time. The oracle chamber in Malta is proof of this. Now, the design in most of these cathedrals is so that people can actually lay down. Clearly, this would not be the best design for people to all gather together and listen to one person at the front. This is why there was no pews or chairs. They were added after. Even we know the best design to listen to one person speak in front of a large audience. Now, we know 432 hertz frequency is a healing frequency, and these incredible instruments that were built into cathedrals pitch sound at 432 hertz. Now, mainstream music to this day has tuned our music to 440 hertz, which is not a healing frequency. Perhaps this is the reason why most church bells have gone missing over the years. Check this out.
And that sound and that feeling, that is the frequency and vibrations. What the old world used so predominantly. And the true reason behind all the bells that magically disappeared. Or they tell us it was for ammunition for the wars. But many truths get lost in the fog of war. The healing and uplifting properties of bells have been used for generations. But it goes deeper than that, moving us from the true nature of this realm, making us all that much easier to control, question everything from
KERRIE? No.
Yeah, no, it goes on to another little bit, but I must have been too slow. I put sort of 3 little clips together in that one. But you get the idea. And in fact, the very last clip of that was actually showing those organs being played. And what they did was they had the beautiful sacred geometry symbol above it within the church. And they actually, with the notes that they were playing, showing what it would actually look like through those windows. If it was, you know, and it was just matching up with those windows. So it was pretty amazing, really.
Churches are fabulous. Churches are fabulous places because of the height and shape of them. That Amanda was in, I can't remember, I think she was in Rome somewhere, Sistine Chapel, and the choir were singing. And it literally stops you in your tracks. I was in Canterbury Cathedral and the choir were singing. And it just sends shivers. You know, because they're like echo chambers, you know, they're incredible places.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's where it's been used, Danny, for so long. Like you think of Gregorian chant.
Yeah.
And even the you know, like you hear that sound. That's actually at 432 hertz. That's what they're using as a healing frequency.
Every culture in the world has music. It doesn't matter. You know, where you go, like the indigenous people had their didgeridoos. Every culture has drums. Every culture does something. Shelley said something about the panpipes. Violins do it for me. The sound of not just one, but if you've got lots of violins, it's just like, whoa. You know?
Yeah.
It definitely changes your energy. It definitely changes how you feel.
And you feel it. You feel the vibration move through you, you know, in those situations. But again, you know, I said, there you go. This is a fun slide, this one. Give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. I want to get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. And that's pretty well right, you know. So if we can just get into those frequencies and understand when we are, and we say it all the time, I feel so out of balance. Retune. All right. You're actually being affected by the frequencies. And it amazes me how often we just have these sayings, right? We say these things like, you know, that the universe is a symphony. Yes, it is, because they're all vibrating at different frequencies and in harmony, making up that beautiful universal landscape that we have. Right? So it's interesting that we say things and then there's still an underlying meaning around all of that to do with the frequency and that healing. So, yeah, when you're out of tune and you're not feeling right and you think there's certain things going on, then there are frequencies that can definitely help. But in addition to that, I also think about, you know, and it was mentioned in one of the videos there, about meeting someone and feeling like you're on their wavelength. Right. So I just wanted to, has everyone sort of seen the speaker that they've got where they attach two nodes to a plant and you listen to the music of the plants?
I've seen that, yeah.
Have people seen that one? Right. Well, this is sort of taking it to the next level. So if you were to hold those two nodes with that speaker, you could hear your own vibration, your own sound, because we all have one. Right? But you could actually hear it, whereas we sense the energy from other people because it's outside of that hearing range the majority of the time. But by using those nodes, you can hear it. So what happens when you connect with other people? I'm just going to show you this one quickly.
Okay, so my partner and I are both holding a node. We are each going to touch a node so that you can see what that sounds like, and then we're going to touch each other's hands while each holding a node so that you can see what it does. That's not a good example of how important connection to any living thing is. I don't know what is. So, hope you liked it.
Isn't that amazing?
That gave me goosebumps.
So when we actually sit and we're extending our energy to people, or we're joining our energy, like we did today, with the gathering group, and we sat there and we held hands and we actually watched the energy join each to the other, you know, when we started, and then we closed that energy circuit down. It really works, you know, and here's some examples of how it does. Shelley just said something then too that was very spot on. Yeah, exactly, playing the music to plants, and whether it was in the right hertz or not, incredible results with the plants. And it's the same with even thoughts, sending a certain thought or saying something in a particular tone to the plants made a huge difference.
Nate said something up here where it says we need to stop seeing with our eyes and seeing with all our other senses. This is an exercise that I'm doing at the moment, and it's a 5-week exercise. So the first week you focus on smell, and it's about smelling everything that you possibly can smell. It's like What does a pot smell like? What does a rock smell like? What does a tree smell like? So the first week is focusing on different smells, and it's the 5 senses. So the second week is, you know, as you drive past everything every single day, I drive the same road every day, and then if I'm a passenger in the car, I see things that I never even noticed because I wasn't. So the second one is about sight, and the third one is touch, and the next one is taste, and the last one is hearing. And you do it for a week. And this is to tune yourself in.
To different senses,
Yeah. And it's also to create a dictionary for yourself when you're doing readings. You talk about chrysanthemums being the symbol for your mum. So, you know, like if you smell, if you smell, I don't know, the steel of a pot, it could mean somebody wants to be a chef when you're doing a reading for, you know. So that's an exercise that I'm doing at the moment. And if you only focus on one sense and try to drown everything else out, the last one is hearing, and that's the one that's going to have the biggest impact on you, because we've got so much white noise that, you know, the music's playing in the background, but you're not paying any attention to it, so you're not getting the benefit.
So I'm not laughing at you, Annie. I'm just scared.
Yes, you can. Go and lick things. No, go and lick things. Lick a stick. Lick a rock.
Yeah.
Helps develop your clairs.
Absolutely help you develop your clairs.
That's the whole point of it.
There's a video, I didn't include it with this tonight because it's a little bit outside of the sound and frequency, but still very much the same. If I can find it again, I'll link it onto the Facebook page or in the chat group. But it was about now working with children where they're actually getting them. It's almost like a remote viewing exercise, right? Instead of working with telepathy, that they have different objects and they're teaching the children to tune into the vibration of the object. And through tuning into the vibration, they can work out what it is that they're looking at. And I thought, wow, isn't that interesting? That's a whole other level. I mean, we do it. We can sense things. We feel the energy around things. This is really highly tuning it. So with this,
the other thing, sorry, Kerrie, the other thing you can do is get some felt or some material, some cloth, and shuffle it around with your eyes shut and pick up a piece of blue material or a piece of blue and try to feel the vibration of the color. Because colors have their own vibration. So felt's good because they all feel the same, you know. But just, is it hot? Is it cold? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? That's another really good exercise for tuning in, because again, we don't hear. We take so much and we don't see and we don't listen. So to really be listening to the music and tuning in is really, really important, because that's where you'll get the benefit. That's why, sorry, Kerrie, but that's why the sound bit is so important, because not only Kerrie blindfolds you for a start, so you can see anything, and then you've got the headphones on, so the music's all you can hear, and then the vibration of it through your body. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Kerrie, but that's one of the things that makes this so powerful, that every sense, you know, you're feeling it, you're sensing it, you're hearing it, and there's no distractions, because when there's all these distractions, you know, there's millions of things, and we're so conscious of so many, we get overstimulated. So that's why it shuts you down.
It does. And that's why, look, listening to it can be really good. So listening to the tracks, either, you know, if you have an audio track, listening to it with headphones is really good, not just sort of out into the ether, but listening, because it goes into the brain frequency, which then gets sent through the body. So that can be really good. Obviously, using something like a didgeridoo up and down the body, you know, the singing bowls where you can feel that vibration. And then, of course, the sound bed, which is a far more personalized version for exactly what you need. That's just taking it up the levels, you know, like up to the next level. But don't discount how really beneficial just listening to it is. and bringing it into your meditation practice is actually not just selecting any meditation music, but thinking about what frequency do I want to be working on. So, and I'll talk you through that as we go through. But with that last one, when we look at connection, this is my little joke. So, so that's what it means when they say we could make beautiful music together. All right, that's my joke for the night, guys. All right, so let's go through these hertz. And as I said, I'm going to send it all out to you. So 111 hertz is known as cellular rejuvenation and regeneration. So that works at a micro level with the 111 hertz. It does relieve pain, but it's also about rejuvenating the cells at an anatomic level. So if the cells are not at their optimal healthy frequency, it will help get them vibrating where they should be to promote being back into that healthy vibration. So it also improves your neurotransmitter pathways, promotes feelings of well-being, and it's also good for deep meditation. So same as an emotion and the vibrations. Wait, give so much information for healing. Yeah, exactly. And if you are a healer, you are picking up the information about the other person by tuning into that energy around them, by tuning into the energy. You're feeling where the blockages may be or where that needs to be a clearing. So, yeah, really definitely works. So I'm just going to give you very quickly sort of 30 seconds of listening to 111 hertz. And if you can, just close your eyes and take a deep breath. See where you feel it within your body. Did you feel it anywhere in particular, Annie, or just
hips, KERRIE? Went to my hips, started in my head, and then went to my hips. And that's where the pain is.
Yeah. So it's just going to, your head. Yeah. Yep.
Started in my head. That was where it was.
Now, isn't it interesting, as you're looking through, see, people felt it in different areas? That's because it's working on a cellular level. So you're going to feel it in any area of the body that needs to have that entrainment back to that frequency. So it's really interesting. Lips, AJ. That's interesting. Okay, so 174 hertz. Now, 111 and 174 are actually known as rife frequencies. You know, these are the frequencies that work on a very anatomical level. Again, this one is really, really good for pain, but it's also really good for bones as well. So bones and muscle. So it reduces back pain, knee pain, leg pain, feet pain, you know, all of those areas. It can relieve headaches and migraines, muscle tension within the body, and it calms the mind and evokes feelings of love, courage, safety, and reassurance. So this one is really good if you have a chronic pain injury. It can really help. So quite often you'll use 111 hertz, 174 hertz, and 741 hertz, the three of those together in different, well, I would use them in separate healing tracks. The three of those give you the cellular rejuvenation, the total pain relief, and releases any toxins within the body at the same time. So you can use multiple of these frequencies to get an overall benefit from them. So just going to give you a 20-second listen to this one. It was actually painful.
Hold on 1 second. Karen has said that it was painful for her. and asked what that means.
It can mean that either one, you don't need it, so everything's in resonance, so it's just vibrating in that area way too much, so you may not need it on that level. The other side of that is sometimes it can be the track that they put it behind. So you really need to be careful of what track you're using. You know, they will use other tracks, particularly for, you know, if you're listening to tracks on YouTube, etc., there'll be a lot of nature sounds and other things in with it as well. Sometimes that's not the right resonance for you. Also, sometimes it's just you don't need it. You don't need it, and your body says, I don't need that frequency. Right, so you'll notice that as well.
That's happened to me. There's you put me on the bed one day, and I said, yeah, I can't listen to this because it wasn't the right frequency for what I needed at that time. So we changed it, and then I was fine. Yeah.
So sometimes it's just you don't need that particular frequency. So I'm just going to give you a quick 30-second listen to 174 hertz.
See, that one worked better for me than the 111.
Mm-hmm.
Karen,
as I straight away, I felt that in my shoulder, which is where I've had an injury, shoulder injury before. So straight away, I feel it going to that muscle in that area.
Karen, how did that one go for you? All around your head and shoulders.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the one you would need, Karen.
Good.
Not the
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, because that one worked much better for me than the 111 as well. So sometimes it's just tweaking. And Kerrie can do that. You know, like if the first one that she hits you with doesn't work, we can play. Yeah, Jeanette's also in a space where she needs help with pain and tension and
pain
stuff.
management, yeah. So that one's really going to help. Your body starts, it's almost like, oh yeah, I feel it singing in me in a way. It's going to give that to you. So then the next one is 285 hertz. Now this is to balance energy, and it heals and restores tissue. Right, so this is for, you know, when problems with muscle, it enhances your immune system, and it really promotes endorphin production, right, through the body. So it can elevate your mood as well. This particular one is if you have a sports injury or recovering from a surgery, etc. This is the hertz that really helps with improving the recovery. So I'll just give you 30 seconds of this one.
I got lost in that swirly ball of all the colours.
Yeah, I know. It's a nice swirly ball, isn't it? Trying to find visuals that actually show you what's happening. Your cells start dancing on the inside and what's actually happening. I was trying to find visuals that would work with that.
Work for me.
Yeah. So music in the soul can be heard by the universe. Exactly, because we're emanating those frequencies out, and we do have a sound to us, and the universe has a sound. Your scar is itchy, Jeanette. Don't scratch it. Sorry, lovely. But it's healing.
Yeah, I was going to ask how it went for you. You're another one, Wendy. You've got your poor wee leg that's not working.
That's right. So that's the healing tissue. Yeah. Yeah, different. Exactly. Okay, so 396 hertz. This releases guilt and fear. So if someone's an over worrier or puts a lot of energy or is going through grief, this particular frequency helps to release some of those emotional blocks. It's also good if you have a creativity block as well, right? It can remove some of the blocks from that one as well. So I'll just give you a few seconds of this one.
That one hit me in my heart.
Did it?
Yeah.
That's interesting, Annie.
Yeah.
Because it's the frequency of the root chakra.
Which is about safety and security.
Yep.
So that's where the fear comes in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So where are you going to feel it? Here. Yeah. Yeah. So this is now, so each of these are now, we're now moving through the chakras, okay, with these frequencies. Stayed in your third eye. Oh, Wendy, yeah, because it releases. So it is one that's good for release. But, you know, it's good to, if you're using this one, to then go and use something like 5 to 8 hertz following it, because 5 to 8 hertz, that miracle frequency, or even 432 hertz is another good one to use after it. It rebalances the heart area afterwards. So it's like, you know, popping a pimple, letting that emotion out and then healing it over again. You know, so you use the 396 for the release, and then you'll use 432 or 528 to rebalance again. Okay, so let's go to our next one, 417. Now, 417 releases negative energy from the body. It also relieves trauma and anger-based emotions, and it promotes positive change. So if you're nervous about change, 417 is a good one to help you through that change and to embrace change. It also helps improve your thinking processes, and it can also relieve symptoms of ADHD. So this one is has been really good for people with ADHD, also for trauma, and I've used it for a few people. Again, it's about getting that balance right, because you have to bring the emotion to the surface to rebalance them again and release it. So it's good to use this one and then counter it with a 432 or a 528 to get everything healed over again after you do this release. If it's for ADHD purposes, you don't need the others. You know, the ADHD is about settling all that nervous system and that nervous energy down for improved focus. So that's the 417. So I'll just give you a listen to that one.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
Yeah, and we won't stay on that one very long, because, you know, that one you really want to use in conjunction with others, as I said. Nerve damage. I'm getting there, Myrtle. I'm nearly there. Hang in 2 secs. We're nearly at that one. So 417 hertz is actually the sacral chakra as well. Yeah, annoying. Yeah, a lot of people do find that one annoying. Ears went nowhere. Yep. A lot of people do, because they just don't need that frequency. Okay, so now we're going into solar plexus chakra, which is 5 to 8 hertz, and it's actually known as the love frequency or the miracle tone. And this one promotes self-assurance, self-esteem, and confidence. And studies show that it links to DNA repair. So, Myrtle, to answer your question, I said I was nearly there, 5 to 8 hertz. That's what you should be using. And I'm going to give you another one as well in a minute, 741 hertz. But 5 to 8 hertz is really good for the nervous system and for rebalancing the nervous system. It's also good for insomnia. It improves the regeneration effects of sleep. So if you're suffering from insomnia, it can really help with that. And it works on hormone levels as well. So this one is called the miracle tone because it works on the emotional body. It works on the physical body. It works on the mental side of things, and it also works on your energetic field as well. Yes, and that's true, Nate. That is very true. If people do not want to release that energy, it's really going to grate on them. It's really going to grate on them, and they're not want to go anywhere near it because whatever they're dealing with is buried so far, they don't want to release it. So, yeah, it can be a tricky one to work through. You're welcome, Myrtle, and we'll get to that next one in a minute.
KERRIE, Veronica has asked, how long do you need to listen to them?
Okay, so it takes about 10 minutes for the cells in your, I mean, you can listen to it and it'll relax you within, 3 to 5 minutes. It'll relax you. But to get the health benefits from it, it takes 10 minutes for that entrainment process to work, to get everything vibrating through that resonance at that optimum healthy frequency. Anything from 10 minutes onwards is where the healing occurs. So I hope that sort of makes sense. Okay, so a bit of 5 to 8. Everyone should like this one. Very balancing in a lot of areas. Was there anyone that didn't like that one?
I've done that one actually on the bed.
Mm.
And it's lovely. It's
yeah,
really relaxing.
It's the one that if people don't really know what their intention is or what they want, I'll go with the 5 to 8 hertz track because it works on so many levels. Yeah, exactly, Victoria. Heart up. That's right. Legs wanted to dance. Yep. It is that. It just works on so many levels. So if you're not sure which one to use, go for 5 to 8 because it works on so many things. You really can't go wrong with 5 to 8. Heavy on your right side of your brain. Must be a right brain thinker. Heavy on your right side of your brain. Must be a right brain thinker. If you let that one move through you, it'll rebalance because it also rebalances that the nervous system that actually is going across with the brain waves, and it reconnects neurons as well. So
but
it can help.
You've got a lot going on at the moment, Karen.
Mm.
So if you did that one, it might settle you. Because when we did the meditation today, you said you really struggle with turning your head off. And that's the right brain. The right brain is the chatterbox.
If you could sit with that for 10 minutes, Karen, you'll notice a huge difference in what's going on there. Okay, so I'll jump to the next one.
Colleen, we've got a troll.
Oh, of course we do.
Yeah, deal with
Wouldn't be a fun night without a troll. Okay, so 639 hertz. again, this one releases guilt and fear, but it's also a love connection. So 639 hertz, and I think I've put the wrong information on here. Okay. Ignore the information sitting under 639 hertz because that's not right. I've obviously put in the wrong dot points on that one. Okay, so 639 hertz is all about inner peace and inner balance. It's often referred to as the frequency of angels, right? So 639 hertz is restoring that inner peace within you, right? So it's a really good frequency for self-love and self-care. It can help with relieving grief and emotional grief, but it does promote self-belief, but in a self-love and acceptance way. But they often call it the frequency of the angels. So I'll just give you a little listen to this one. Wendy, what does it mean if the sound makes you nauseous? It can be one of two things, right? Either you don't need that frequency because it's not an area that you're working on, so everything's already at its optimum frequency. And if you overdo it, you can just feel like you're getting an overload of that frequency. So that can cause a nauseous feeling. The opposite of that is you definitely need it, and you need to work through that nauseous until you feel everything entrained to the right level. And it's hard sometimes to know which one that is, but when you're doing a consultation, if you're actually doing a consultation with someone and we know the areas that you really want to work on, then it's easier to work out whether that works for you or not. Yeah, 639, not for Shelley at all. Nate said it's his. Oh, well,
Guys,
there's
you're all going to get messages from someone called Dean, somebody or another. Block them, delete them. They're sending messages through to all sorts of people. I've blocked them and deleted the comments, but you'll all end up with them, so just ignore them.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll take you on to the next one. Now, 741 hertz. This one eliminates toxins and it eliminates negativity. So it works as a detox for the body. I mentioned before, I quite often use it with 111 hertz for the cellular rejuvenation and 174 hertz for pain relief. It heals the emotional body as well. It can release toxins, pollutants, viruses, fungi, bacteria, electromagnetic toxins. It works for chronic pain. But what it can also do is it helps awaken your intuition, helps with the clarity of thinking and problem solving. Now, because this is such a good repellent for lower level energies, it's actually a really good one for protection. So this is the one that we actually use for our protection amulet, because it helps not only to repel negative energy that's coming at you, it also helps with the negative self-talk. So 741 hertz works on both the mental and the emotional, as far as thinking negatively, feeling negative, or looking at glass half empty. So it helps get you out of that pattern, but it also blocks other things coming in. From a physicality perspective, it can release toxins from the body. So this is a really good, valuable one. Yeah, it really is. I love 741. It's a really, really good one to use. So I'll just play a little bit of that one for you.
That one's lovely.
Yeah. So 7-4, and I love that blue ball because it really feels like it's flowing everything, cleaning everything in your system. And that's what it does. 741 hertz is like the great cleaner of things, whether that be emotion or physical toxins. Yeah, boosting positivity. It absolutely does. It boosts the positivity and, yeah, feeling it in your molecules. That's right, because it really does clean out anything within the body. Light in your chest. Yep.
Now, if you think about it, you've had about 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine 20 minutes. Imagine how you would feel if you did it through the sound bed. The sound bed's absolutely awesome. But, you know, if you don't have the capacity to get to the sound bed, imagine 20 minutes of just 741 hertz with your headphones on.
And,
you know?
yeah, and just listening to it. And even if you're using it as part of your meditation practice, you know, because when you're meditating and you're using these hertz, it's actually taking you into the theta and alpha waves, right, as well, which is like that, not at sleep, but nearly at sleep. And that's where all of that healing and everything occurs, plus epiphanies, plus connection into spirit realm. So you've got it happening on all these different levels. Okay, so the next one, 852 hertz, awakening intuition. Now, this one really facilitates connection to your higher self and the ability to access your own inner guidance and start trusting that inner guidance. It helps with the spiritual order. So if someone comes to me and says, oh, look, I just really, really want to do this as a meditation technique, and to connect with my higher self or connect with the angelic realms or in a more spiritual space, I would go for 852 or the 963 or even a 1111 hertz. Those ones at this higher level is really talking energetic body now. It also helps with getting away from things that may have been fogging your mind or been a bit of an illusion, particularly if you're being gaslighted in any way, and it'll cut through that and give you a little bit of a taste of the reality. So it's really, really good for meditation. It's a good one to use if you're a Reiki practitioner in the background. It's a really great frequency to use with the energy healing and also astral projection. So you're definitely getting into those areas when you're using the 852 hertz. So I'm just going to give you a little listen to that one. And Myrtle, 852 hertz is also really good for nerve as well, the nervous system, because it rebalances the electricals going on in the brain, and that really helps with the nervous system as well. That one doesn't like your speakers. Yeah, it actually, I kept getting a cracking sound in behind the audio of that, and I'm not sure why. It just wasn't recording for me, but anyway.
I was going to say that, KERRIE. I was going to say, remember, people, that this is coming to your computer from a different computer, because the sound when you do it direct is much, much
very
clearer.
different.
Very different. So, you know, the 30
Yep.
seconds, it's much better when it's clear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we've got another one.
And the last one that we're going to cover for tonight, 963 hertz. Now, this is a pure miracle tone. That's how they refer to it. And it's sometimes called the God frequency. So it attunes energy for deep, deep connection to ourselves and to everything around us. So it is a conscious way to connect with the subconscious mind. So it can be really good if you're doing hypnosis for anything. 963 hertz works really well with that because it brings the subconscious mind into balance. It also brings forth great creativity, great ideas, great solutions. It also helps clear the pineal gland, right? And promotes a really high level meditation. And this one is actually to reset spiritual DNA. So we were talking about 528, doing the DNA. This one is for spiritual DNA. So it works with those much higher level energies, and it just works so well with intuition and empowerment and enlightenment. So if you're looking for epiphanies, if you're looking for a really creative idea, if you're really wanting to connect in with your guides and angels on that much higher level, 963 hertz is a great one to use for your meditation practice. That's a really, really good one. So I'm just going to give you a little listen to that one. And linking to crown chakra. So everybody, that sort of brings us, and I've gone over time and I apologize for that. I often get asked, what's it like on the sound bed? I don't know. I can't explain it. It's almost indescribable to feel when that vibration moves through you. But if you can access a sound bath, with singing bowls, etc., or chimes, didgeridoo, this is what it feels like. It feels like goosebumps all over you and every hair on your body standing on end as you just realign with everything. To use your pendulum, yeah. My cats love it too. Use it over each chakra before and then after. Yeah, see the difference, exactly, because you'll see the energy difference between them all. There you go. So that's it, guys. They're all the different hertz. They're what they're good for. I hope that you will be able to try and now take that information and use it for any meditation practice that you use, or if you're feeling unwell, go to the immunity boost, So there's different frequencies. If you're on our mailing list, we will send out the table of each of those frequencies and what they're good for so that you can use it as a bit of a reference guide. But I just hope that was all interesting for everybody tonight.
It was fabulous, Kerrie. Thank you very, very much.
You're
and
welcome.
Karen has said you had to load 1 million things, and she said it was worth the 1 million things you had to load.
Well, I can sit and talk about the different frequencies and what they do, but if I don't give you that little bit of all of them, and I thought some of those other videos were good because it takes it back to, one, it's not airy-fairy. It's probably been used since ancient times and got lost along the way. But there's a lot of scientific evidence behind this as well. So it's not just an airy-fairy thing out there. There's a lot of science that actually backs the power of it as well.
Yeah, especially out of the States.
Victoria, how do you get on the mailing list? Are you on Facebook or YouTube at the moment? If you just direct message wherever you are right now, send a message with your email address. We will add you to the email list. Or you can go to our website, Angel Feathers Spiritual Sanctuary, all one word, Angel Feathers Spiritual Sanctuary.com.au, and you can sign up there for our newsletter, and anyone that signs up there also receives our handouts from our live shows.
And one day we'll do a newsletter.
And one day we'll do a newsletter, but at the moment it's our mailing list to receive all this information. Yep.
Yeah.
we'll get you on, Karen. So, yeah, Victoria. So, yeah, either private message on Facebook, or go to our website and sign up for the newsletter. We don't send something out every day. We're not going to spam you or anything. We don't have enough time. We're busy people.
Yeah. Now, the other thing, Victoria, and most people who are on here a lot. We've had a couple of people saying, I have a private message for you. Message me. I've got this to tell you. Are you having problems with this, that, or the other? It's all nonsense. Kerrie and I never do that. The other thing is we never, ever ask for money, because we've had people getting messages through saying, I've got a message for you from a loved one, send me money. We never, ever, ever do that. So if you get any of that nonsense, troll spray them, just delete them, block them, report them. They're a pain in the neck, and there's not a lot we can do to stop it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, no, we won't do that. And look, you know where we are. You can reach out to us. You know how to get a hold of us if you wanted to. We won't reach out to you and say we desperately need to do that. But having said that, we have had people donate and buy us a coffee, which does help our StreamYard, and we just thank you for that. But because there's no obligation to that, we just love doing this. But any donations that come in do go towards that. And so a bit of a shout out to Sophia, who I know donated to that.
Can I ask if anybody who's on here, we need a certain number of people on our angel feathers before we're allowed to broadcast?
100 people, yeah.
We need 100 people. So if you haven't already liked us and followed us on our Angel Feathers Spiritual Sanctuary Facebook page, could you please do that and tell your friends and create new profiles and link with us as somebody else? I've got 3 Facebook accounts and I keep linking with myself in all the other ones. Kerrie does it too.
I know, it's crazy. But we put that together too so that everyone could be in the one chat together instead of going, oh, whose chat am I going to go to? And then Facebook changed the rules on us. Not our chat group, guys. The chat group is so everyone can post and share what they're doing. So that chat group is for everyone. We're talking about the actual Angel Feathers Spiritual Sanctuary page on Facebook, if you can follow that one, because what it would be great is if we could live stream to there and we have everyone in the one chat. That would be awesome. Join the community together. Also, can I just do a little shout out, Annie, quickly? My sister Marie, who's on tonight, her birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, my beautiful sister.
Happy birthday.
And it was also Veronica's birthday a week ago. Happy birthday, Veronica. Who have I missed? I'm sure I've missed people. It's also Sue's birthday in a few days' time on the 24th. So happy birthday, Sue.
Happy birthday, Sue.
Yeah. So we got lots of people this month. So just a quick shout out. Annie, did you want to do a quick card for the collective before we go? We know we're very well over time. Sorry, guys. Next time. See, this is why I'm not allowed to do topics all by myself. Go way over time, but I'll allow Annie to do the card read and I'll stay quiet.
Okay, so it's Anita's birthday on Friday. Happy birthday
on
to
Friday,
Anita.
yes, and that's a milestone.
Shelley's too. Happy birthday, Shelley.
Yeah,
Sophia's
is coming up. Yeah.
I've got energy cards.
Perfect.
So what I've got, which is interesting, given that we're telling you to use these for your meditations, what I've got here is quieting the mind. And that was what I was talking about earlier, about when you're on the sound bed and there's no other stimulation. It's just the music with your eyes shut. Kerrie actually puts a mask on. So it's about shutting down everything and quieting the mind. And the next one that I pulled is a higher view. And I think Nate said this earlier. It's about not just seeing with your eyes. It's about incorporating all of your senses and not getting caught up in the bullshit of day-to-day stuff, but take that higher view.
Yeah.
The third one I've got is the divine matrix.
Of course.
So that's, I think that sums up what today has all been about. It's about how we are all one and everything is interconnected and everything is frequency, vibration and energy. And if we keep our energy really high, yeah, there is a full moon tonight. But if we keep that energy really high, that's what we'll attract. We'll attract, because one of KERRIE's little videos said, if you're down and depressed and in that bottom resonance, that's what you pull towards you. Whereas if you keep your energy really high and stay in this divine space where you're focused and your cells and your body are all vibrating at the proper space, it's that divine God space, which is where we want to be and where we need to be, especially at the moment when there's so much chaos around us. So there you go. There you go.
And my angels just said, well, you might keep quiet, but we don't want to. Sorry. Wasn't there night tonight, was it? So I just grabbed a quick angel number card because they were sitting beside me. And, well, there you go, 1111. And what they're actually bringing through with this one is it's talking about new beginnings, creating new beginnings and stepping into spiritual leadership. Now, that's an interesting comment that they're bringing through, because we were only talking today about how awesome it has been to see so many people step into that spiritual leadership role, and accepting the gifts that they have and being willing to share them with everyone else. So it's a confirmation. Stay on that path. It's the right path to be going down. Embrace opportunities that are coming in. Think about, don't just jump straight away. Make sure it feels right. Again, they're going back to that frequency. Trust the energy. What's resonating with you? What are you being entrained or pulled to? So take notice of that, because they're talking about fulfilled dreams. So there's something that people have been wanting to manifest for a while, and the manifesting energy is now coming in because the resonance is at the right area. So again, they're bringing it straight back into that frequency that you just said about, Annie. And of course, we've got the beautiful full moon tonight too. So you've got that manifesting energy there. So set clear intentions, everyone.
That's your homework.
That's it. That's it. And we will share, I'll share out the table of all those frequencies so you can look at, what do I need? And then start incorporating, looking for those Hertz tracks to use with your meditation practice. That's
Thank
awesome.
you, everybody, for being with us. Please comment, share, and like. I've remembered to say all that. I never do.
Thank you. Yes, please do.
We will see you in a fortnight. Thank you so much. We appreciate every single one of you. We love having you with us. And have a really good couple of weeks. Stay warm and cozy. Bye-bye.
And anyone still wanting to book in for you, Mana, or the 5 Steps workshop out at Red Bank Plains, Pellowah.space. Have I just said that right? Pellowah.space, workshops, Kachinaman, and you can book through there. Okay, we hope to see you soon, and we'll see you in a fortnight.
Hit your
Bye,
button,
Annie, thank you.
Hit your button, KERRIE button.